Picture this: a single mom, heart pounding, sits in a sterile office, her 4-year-old son fidgeting on her lap. She's just been told she's unfit for the job because she dared to bring her child. Tears well up as the interviewer smirks, ready to show her the door. But then, the door swings open, and in walks the Millionaire CEO. What happens next? It's the kind of twist that makes karma feel oh so sweet. Stick around, this revenge story will have you cheering. Intro: call to action. Next 15-20 seconds. If you've ever been underestimated, disrespected, or kicked when you're down, especially by someone in power, and dreamed of that perfect moment of payback, you're in the right place. Hit that like button if you're ready for some serious justice. Subscribe for more Reddit revenge tales that hit right in the feels, and let's dive in. Trust me, by the end, you'll be fist pumping. Full narrative expansion. Bulk of the script. Let's set the scene properly. Our protagonist is Anna, a 28-year-old single mom who's been through the ringer. Picture her in a cramped one-bedroom apartment, bills piling up like dirty dishes in the sink. Her ex bailed when their son, little Timmy, was just a baby, and no child support, no nothing. Anna's been scraping by on freelance gigs and odd jobs, but the pandemic wiped those out. She's smart, though, a college dropout who taught herself graphic design and marketing, building a portfolio that could impress anyone. But as a single mom, every day feels like a battle. Mornings start with Timmy's sticky hugs and endless questions. "Mommy, why can't we have pancakes every day?" Her heart aches because she wants to give him the world, but right now, she's barely keeping the lights on. Anna spots a job posting for an entry-level marketing assistant at Technova, a rising tech firm run by a self-made millionaire CEO named Richard Hale. The pay, decent enough to get her out of debt and maybe even afford a daycare. She applies, pours her soul into her resume, highlighting how she juggled freelance clients while raising a toddler. Miracle of miracles, she gets an interview. Excitement bubbles up like champagne she can't afford. This could be it, the break she needs. But life, as it often does for people like Anna, throws a curveball. The morning of the interview, her babysitter, a flaky neighbor, cancels last minute. "Sorry, hon, my cat's sick." Panic sets in, Anna's stomach twists into knots. She calls everyone she knows, friends, family, and no one can help. Tears sting her eyes as she looks at Timmy, happily coloring on the floor. "What choice do I have?" she thinks. "I can't miss this. We'll make it work." She dresses Timmy in his nicest outfit, packs a bag of toys and snacks, and whispers to him, "Be extra good for mommy, okay?" This is important. They arrive at Technova's sleek office building, all glass and chrome, the kind of place that screams success. Anna's hands tremble as she signs in, Timmy clutching her leg. The receptionist gives her a sympathetic smile, but Anna feels exposed. Like everyone's judging her already. Internal thoughts race. They'll understand, right? It's just one time. I'm qualified. I can do this job blindfolded. She's ushered into a conference room where the hiring manager, Miss Evelyn Cartwright, waits. Evelyn is in her mid-40s, impeccably dressed in a power suit, with a sharp bob haircut and eyes that could cut glass. She's the gatekeeper type, the kind who thrives on control, who sees vulnerability as weakness. As soon as Anna walks in with Timmy, Evelyn's face hardens. No hello, no warm handshake, just a cold stare. "Excuse me," Evelyn says, her voice dripping with disdain. "Is that a child?" Anna swallows hard, her throat dry. "Yes, ma'am. My babysitter cancelled at the last minute. I didn't have anyone else, but he's very well behaved, and I promise it won't affect her." Evelyn cuts her off with a scoff, leaning back in her chair like Anna's some amusing pest. "This is a professional environment, miss. Whatever your name is, we don't run a daycare here. How do you expect to handle deadlines if you can't even manage your personal life?" Her words land like slaps. Anna feels her cheeks burn, a hot flush of shame spreading through her chest. Timmy senses the tension and whimpers, burying his face in her skirt. Inside, Anna's mind screams, "How dare she? She has no idea what I've been through. Waking up at 3 a.m. to freelance while Timmy sleeps, skipping meals so he can eat. This isn't fair." But out loud, she stays composed. voice steady despite the tremor. I understand your concern, but my resume shows I'm reliable. I've met every freelance deadline, even with the. Evelyn waves her hand dismissively, her manicured nails flashing. Reliable? Single mothers like you are a liability. Constant sick days, school pickups, excuses. We've had issues before. Frankly, you're not a fit. She stands up, signaling the end, her lips curled in a smug smile. We'll be in touch, or rather, we won't. Anna's world blurs. Her vision swims with unshed tears, her heart hammering against her ribs. Powerlessness crashes over her like a wave. That familiar sting of being dismissed, undervalued, just because life dealt her a tough hand. She gathers Timmy in her arms, his small body warm against her, and turns to leave, legs feeling like lead. Come on, buddy, she murmurs, voice cracking. Let's go home. But here's where the tension peaks, folks. As Anna reaches for the door, it bursts open. In strides Richard Hale, the CEO himself, a tall, charismatic, in a tailored suit that probably costs more than Anna's rent. He's there by chance, popping in to grab a file from the conference room before a board meeting. He stops short, taking in the scene, Anna's tear-streaked face, Timmy's wide eyes, Evelyn's triumphant posture. What's going on here? Richard asks, his voice calm but authoritative, echoing in the room like a thunderclap. Evelyn straightens, flashing her best corporate smile. Oh, Mr. Hale, just wrapping up an interview. This candidate showed up with her child day completely unprofessional. I was just letting her know she's not suitable. Richard's eyes narrow. He glances at Anna's resume on the table, then at Timmy, who peeks out shyly. Something flickers in his expression. A recognition? He kneels down to Timmy's level. Hey there, little guy. What's your name? Timmy, the boy whispers, clutching a toy car. Richard smiles softly. Timmy. Huh? That's a strong name. Then he stands, turning to Anna. And you must be Anna Reynolds. I reviewed the applicant pool myself. Your portfolio is impressive. A self-tout, innovative campaigns. Why bring the kid? Anna, voice barely above a whisper, explains the babysitter fiasco. Her desperation. Her hands shake, but she meets his gaze. Inside, this is it. One last shot. Don't blow it. Richard nods, then turns to Evelyn, his face hardening. The air thickens with tension. Short breaths now. Evelyn shifts uncomfortably. Richard's voice drops. Evelyn, did you even ask about her qualifications? Or did you just see a mom and assume? Policy? Richard interrupts, his tone sharp. Our policy is to hire the best talent, not discriminate against parents. I built this company as a single dad after my wife passed, raised my daughter alone while coding in coffee shops. If I judged people like you do, Technova wouldn't exist. He pauses, letting it sink in. Evelyn's smugness crumbles, her face pales, lips parting in shock. The turning point hits. Richard had seen Anna's application and flagged it personally. Her designs reminded him of his own struggles. But now, witnessing this injustice, fury builds. He decides right there, this isn't just hiring, it's righting a wrong. Anna, he says, you're hired, starting Monday, and we'll cover childcare, a company perk I just instituted. Then, to Evelyn, as for you, pack your things. Discrimination has no place here. You're out. Evelyn's jaw drops, eyes bulging like she's been slapped. But, Mr. Hale, I've been here 5 years. She sputters, voice rising in panic, hands clenching the table edge. Her power evaporates in seconds. The woman who wielded rejection like a weapon now tastes it herself. Humiliation washes over her, cheeks flushing crimson as security escorts her out, muttering excuses. Anna stands frozen, then relief floods her, shoulders sag, tears flow freely now, but joyful ones. Timmy tugs her hand. Mommy, did we win? She scoops him up, hugging tight, a laugh bubbling out. Triumph surges, a validation after years of doubt. Yes, baby, we did. In that moment, the weight lifts. She's not just surviving anymore, she's thriving. Richard shakes her hand, whispering, you've got this. Welcome to the team. Stories like this remind us, karma doesn't always come fast, but when it does, It's poetic. Anna's tale shows that underestimating someone, especially a fighter like a single mom, it can backfire spectacularly. Justice isn't just about revenge, it's about fairness, restoring balance. What do you think? Does everyone get what they deserve eventually? Phew. If that gave you the chills or made you yell yes at your screen, smash that like button and drop a comment. What's the most satisfying revenge you've seen or experienced? Share your stories, I read them all. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more emotionally charged Reddit revenges that'll keep you hooked. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Picture this: a single mom, heart-pounding, sits in a sterile office, her 4-year-old son fidgeting on her lap. She's just been told she's unfit for the job because she dared to bring her child. Tears well up as the interviewer smirks, ready to show her the door. But then, the door swings open, and in walks the Millionaire CEO. What happens next? It's the kind of twist that makes karma feel oh so sweet. Stick around, this revenge story will have you cheering. If you've ever been underestimated, disrespected, or kicked when you're down, especially by someone in power, and dreamed of that perfect moment of payback, you're in the right place. Hit that like button if you're ready for some serious justice. Subscribe for more Reddit revenge tales that hit right in the feels, and let's dive in. Trust me, by the end, you'll be fist pumping. Let's set the scene properly, diving deep into the world of our protagonist, Anna. She's a 28-year-old single mom who's navigated a life full of unexpected turns and relentless challenges. Imagine her in that tiny one-bedroom apartment on the outskirts of the city, where the walls are thin enough to hear the neighbors' arguments and the rent is always a struggle to scrap together. The faint smell of instant noodles lingers in the air, a staple dinner when funds are low. Bills stack up on the kitchen table like accusing fingers. Electricity, water, that looming credit card statement from when Timmy had that ear infection last winter. Anna's ex, a guy named Mark who promised forever but vanished when the pregnancy test turned positive, left her high and dry. No child support checks, no weekend visits, just a void where a partner should be. She's been holding it all together with sheer willpower, freelancing as a graphic designer from her laptop late into the night, her eyes burning from the screen's glow while Timmy sleeps soundly in the next room. Anna wasn't always in this position. Flashback a few years, she was a bright student in college, majoring in marketing, dreaming of big campaigns and creative freedom. But life derailed her when she got pregnant at 24. Mark bolted, her family distant and unsupportive, offered little more than judgment. "You should have been more careful," her mother had said over the phone, her voice laced with disappointment. Anna dropped out, traded textbooks for baby books, and learned to hustle. She taught herself Adobe Suite through free online tutorials, built a portfolio from scratch by taking on low-paying gigs on platforms like Upwork. Her designs were sharp, innovative via social media graphics that boosted small businesses' engagement, logos that captured essence in a single glance. But as a single mom, every opportunity came with strings. Clients ghosted once she mentioned needing flexible hours, and the constant juggle left her exhausted, her body aching from lack of sleep, her mind racing with worries. Will Timmy have enough for preschool? What if I get sick? One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon casting orange hues through her grimy window, Anna scrolled through job listings on her phone while Timmy played with his toy trucks on the faded carpet. His laughter, pure and unfiltered, was her anchor. "Vroom, vroom, mommy, look, the truck's going fast," he'd say, his chubby hands pushing the toy with enthusiasm. It was in that moment of quiet desperation that she spotted the ad for an entry-level marketing assistant at Tech Nova. The company was a tech startup turned powerhouse, specializing in app development for small businesses. The CEO, Richard Hale, was a self-made millionaire, often featured in business magazines for his rags-to-riches story. The job promised a stable salary, health benefits, and crucially a room for growth. Anna's heart skipped a beat. This could change everything, she thought, her fingers hovering over the apply button. She spent hours tailoring her resume, emphasizing her self-taught skills, her ability to multitask under pressure. If anyone knows pressure, "It's me," she muttered to herself, sipping cold coffee. Days blurred into anticipation. When the email came, "We'd like to invite you for an interview," Anna felt a surge of hope, like sunlight breaking through storm clouds. She danced around the apartment with Timmy, spinning him until they both giggled breathlessly. But reality crashed back quickly. She needed childcare. Her usual babysitter, Mrs. Lopez from down the hall, was unreliable at best, but options were slim. Anna called friends, posted on local mom groups online, even considered asking her estranged sister. Nothing panned out. The night before the interview, she lay awake, staring at the ceiling cracks, her mind a whirlwind. What if I cancel? No, I can't. This is our shot. Timmy's quiet, he'll behave. Companies understand life happens, right? The morning dawned gray and rainy, mirroring Anna's nerves. Her babysitter texted at 7 a.m., "Can't make it, sweetie. Grandkid's birthday." Panic clawed at her chest, her breath coming in short gasps. She looked at Timmy, still in his pajamas, munching on cereal, milk dribbling down his chin. "Mommy's got an adventure today," she said, forcing a smile. She dressed him in his best shirt and pants, packed a backpack with coloring books, crayons, quiet toys, and snacks, anything to keep him occupied. As she buttoned her own blouse, a simple black one she'd ironed meticulously, her hands shook. Internal dialogue raged. "You're crazy for this, but what choice do you have? Skip it and stay broke? Number, you fought too hard." The bus ride to Technova's headquarters was a blur of splashing puddles and crowded seats. Timmy clung to her, wide-eyed at the city rushing by. The building loomed impressive via towering glass facade reflecting the cloudy sky, a symbol of corporate success that made Anna feel small. Inside, the lobby buzzed with activity, employees in casual chic attire tapping on laptops, the scent of fresh coffee from a nearby cafe. The receptionist, a young woman with a kind face, checked her in. "Interview with Miss Cartwright, right this way." Anna nodded, her pulse thundering in her ears, Timmy's hand sweaty in hers. The conference room was stark, long polished table, ergonomic chairs, a projector screen displaying the company logo. Evelyn Cartwright sat at the head, reviewing papers. She was the epitome of corporate rigidity, mid-40s, sharp suit hugging her frame, hair in a severe bob, glasses perched on her nose. Her reputation, Anna had gleaned from Glassdoor reviews, was as a tough gatekeeper, quick to dismiss candidates who didn't fit her mold. As Anna entered, Timmy in tow, Evelyn's eyes flicked up, narrowing instantly. "Is that a child?" Evelyn's voice was clipped, laced with incredulity, as if Anna had brought a wild animal. Anna's stomach dropped, but she straightened her spine. "Yes, I'm so sorry. My babysitter cancelled unexpectedly. He's very quiet, and I assure you, this won't happen again. I'm Anna Reynolds, here for the marketing assistant position." She extended her hand, but Evelyn ignored it, leaning back with crossed arms. "This is highly unprofessional," Evelyn said, her tone rising like a judge's gavel. "We expect candidates to present themselves appropriately. How do you plan to manage a full-time role if you can't even arrange proper childcare for an interview?" The words stung, each one piercing Anna's resolve. Her face heated, a mix of embarrassment and anger. Timmy, sensing the shift, whimpered softly, clutching her leg tighter. Anna knelt briefly, whispering, "It's okay, sweetie. Color your book." He nodded, settling into chair with his crayons. Internally, Anna seethed. Unprofessional. Try surviving on ramen and hope. Try explaining to a toddler why daddy's gone. This woman has no clue. But she kept her voice even. "I understand you're concerned, Miss Cartwright, but my portfolio demonstrates my capabilities. I've managed multiple clients remotely, delivering on time despite challenges. I'm dedicated, creative." Evelyn interrupted with a derisive laugh, short and sharp, echoing off the walls. "Dedicated. Single parents are unpredictable. Emergencies, school runs, illnesses. We've dealt with it before. Your productivity suffers. Your resume is fine, but frankly, you're a risk." She shuffled papers dismissively, her bodied language screaming rejection. Averted eyes, tapped foot. Anna felt powerless, a familiar knot tightening in her gut, the same one from when Mark left. From job after job slipping away. Tears pricked her eyes, but she blinked them back, refusing to break. "Please, Anna said, her voice trembling slightly. Give me a chance to prove myself. Ask me about my experience with social media campaigns. I increased engagement for a client by 40% last quarter. But Evelyn was already standing, gesturing to the door. We'll review your application. But don't hold your breath. Good day. Anna's world tilted. She gathered Timmy's things with numb fingers, his innocent question of mommy. Why is the lady mad? A twisting the knife. As she turned to leave, shoulders slumped. The door flew open with force. In walked Richard Hale, the CEO. He was imposing yet approachably tall, broad-shouldered, in a custom suit that spoke of success without ostentation. Graying hair, sharp blue eyes that missed nothing. He was there unexpectedly, needing a quiet space for a quick call before his next meeting. He paused, assessing the room, Anna's defeated posture, Timmy's curious gaze, Evelyn's smug satisfaction. What's this? Richard's voice boomed, authoritative yet warm, cutting through the tension like a knife. Evelyn smoothed her suit, composing herself. Just concluding an interview, Mr. Hale. This candidate arrived with her child utterly inappropriate. I've informed her she's not suitable. Richard's brow furrowed. He picked up Anna's resume from the table, scanning it quickly. His eyes lit on her portfolio link, then softened at Timmy. Kneeling, he smiled. Hey, champ, what's that you're drawing? A rocket ship. Timmy beamed. It's a car. Vroom. Richard chuckled, standing. Anna Reynolds, I flagged your application myself. Your designs are fresh, innovative, reminds me of my early work. Then, to Evelyn, his tone cooled. Did you discuss her qualifications, or jump to conclusions? Evelyn faltered, her confidence cracking. Sir, protocol dictates as a single mother's offna. Protocol? Richard's voice sharpened, pacing slowly. I started Technova while raising my daughter alone after my wife died. Coffee shop offices, midnight coding with her sleep nearby. If I'd been judged like this, none of us would be here. The room grew heavy, Evelyn's face draining of color, her hands fidgeting. Anna watched, breath held, a spark of hope igniting. Richard continued, his words measured but intense. Discrimination isn't our value. Anna, tell me about your biggest challenge in freelancing. Anna, emboldened, spoke passionately about balancing deadlines with motherhood, innovating under constraints. Richard nodded, impressed. The turning point crystallized that he'd overcome similar biases, and seeing it perpetuated in his company fueled his resolve. Anna, you're hired. Competitive salary, flexible hours, and we'll subsidize childcare. Start Monday. Turning to Evelyn, his expression stern. You clean out your desk. We don't tolerate bias. Evelyn's reaction was nothing short of explosive, a volcanic eruption of denial and outrage that shattered the tense silence in the conference room. Her jaw dropped so sharply it was as if the floor had given way beneath her, her eyes bulging wide in a mix of shock and fury, pupils dilating like dark pools swallowing the light. Mr. Hale, you can't be serious. She sputtered, her voice cracking at the edges, rising in pitch like a siren wailing in desperation. Her hands, previously so composed and manicured, now clenched into tight fists at her sides, knuckles whitening as if she were gripping the last threads of her authority. The color drained from her face in an instant, leaving her skin ashen and pallid, a stark contrast to the flushed cheeks she'd worn moments ago during her smug dismissal of Anna. She stepped forward involuntarily, her high heels clicking sharply on the polished floor, echoing like gunshots in the confined space, her body trembling with a cocktail of humiliation and rage that made her posture rigid, shoulders hunched as if bracing for impact. But I've been here for 5 years, Evelyn protested, her words tumbling out in a frantic rush, laced with a pleading undertone that she'd never shown before. Internally, her mind must have been a whirlwind of panic. This can't be happening. Not to me. I'm the one who enforces the rules, not the one who breaks them. How dare he side with Kira, a nobody, a single mom with a kid in tow? She glanced wildly around the room, as if seeking an ally in the empty chairs or the blank projector screen, her breath coming in shallow, ragged gasps that filled the air with an audible hiss. The scent of her expensive perfume, once a subtle note of confidence, now seemed overpowering, cloying in the heated atmosphere. I've built teams, closed deals, ensured standards. This is discrimination against me. she added, her voice breaking on the last word, irony lost on her in the heat of the moment. Richard stood unmoved, his blue eyes steady and unyielding, arms crossed over his chest like a barrier she couldn't breach. Discrimination? That's rich coming from you, Evelyn. You've just demonstrated exactly why we can't have people like you representing Technova. Our company thrives on innovation, empathy, and fairness and not outdated biases that hold back talented individuals. His tone was calm but laced with steel, each word deliberate, cutting through her defenses like a scalpel. He gestured toward the door with a subtle nod, signaling the end of her era, the finality of it hanging in the air like a guillotine blade. Anna, still rooted to the spot with Timmy in her arms, felt the surge of emotions crashing over her like waves on a stormy shore. Relief flooded her veins first, warm and tingling, loosening the knot in her stomach that had been twisting since the interview began. Her tears, held back so valiantly before, now spilled freely down her cheeks, hot and salty, blurring her vision as she hugged Timmy closer. His small body pressed against hers, his innocent warmth the grounding force amid the chaos. "Mommy, why is everyone yelling?" he whispered, his voice muffled against her shoulder, his tiny fingers clutching her blouse. Inside, Anna's thoughts raced triumphantly. This is real. I'm not dreaming. After all the rejections, the nights of doubt, the fear of failing him, justice, sweet, undeniable justice. A laugh bubbled up from her chest, unexpected and joyous, breaking through the sobs, her body shaking with the release of pent-up tension. But the scene wasn't over yet. The payoff unfolded in layers, each more satisfying than the last. As Evelyn continued to argue, her voice escalating into a near shriek, "You owe me an explanation, references, severance, something." The door opened again, this time admitting two security guards summoned by Richard's discreet button press under the table. They were burly men in crisp uniforms, their faces neutral but firm, badges glinting under the fluorescent lights. "Ma'am, please come with us," one said, his tone professional yet insistent, extending a hand toward her arm without touching. Evelyn recoiled as if burned, her eyes darting to Richard in betrayal. "You're really doing this, in front of her?" she hissed, gesturing wildly at Anna, her composure shattering completely now, lipstick smeared from biting her lip in frustration. The humiliation peaked as Evelyn gathered her things, her designer handbag slung over her shoulder, a stack of files clutched to her chest like a shield, the room filled with the rustle of papers and the click of her heels retreating, each step a reluctant admission of defeat. Whispers from the hallway filtered in as colleagues peeked through the glass walls, their murmurs a low buzz. "Did you hear? Cartwright's out. About time. Mia, she's been a nightmare." Evelyn's head hung low, her severe bob falling forward to hide her face, but not before Anna caught a glimpse of the raw, unfiltered shame etching lines into her features. It was a mirror image of how Anna had felt moments ago, powerless, exposed, diminished. But now, the tables had turned so spectacularly that it felt like poetic symmetry, the universe aligning to right a wrong that had festered in Anna's life for far too long. Richard turned to Anne once the door clicked shut behind Evelyn and the guards, the tension easing like air from a deflated balloon. "I'm sorry you had to witness that," he said softly, his voice carrying a genuine apology, his eyes softening as they met hers. "But I couldn't let it stand. You've got real talent, Anna, and harder. That's what this company needs." He extended his hand, and this time, the handshake was warm, firm, a seal on her new beginning. Timmy, peeking out from behind Anna's leg, waved shyly, eliciting a genuine smile from the CEO. "And you, little man, get to be part of the team too. How about we set up a play area in the break room?" In that instant, validation washed over Anna like a cleansing rain, erasing the stains of doubt and disrespect that had clung to her for years. Her heart swelled with triumph, a fiery glow spreading through her chest, making her stand taller, her chin lifted in quiet pride. "Thank you, Mr. Hale," she managed, her voice steady now, infused with gratitude and determination. "I won't let you down." Internally, she reveled, this isn't just a job. It's proof I'm capable, I'm worthy. No more scrapping by, we're building a future. Timmy tugged at her hand, his eyes bright. "Mommy, does this mean pancakes tomorrow?" She laughed, scooping him up, the weight of him a joyful burden. "Every day if you want." body. The immediate aftermath only amplified the satisfaction. As Anna left the building, the rain had stopped, the sun breaking through clouds and golden rays that mirrored her uplifted spirit. She called her one supportive friend on the way home, words tumbling out in excitement. "You won't believe what happened." At home, she treated Timmy to ice cream, the two of them dancing in the kitchen, the apartment feeling less cramped, more like a launch pad for dreams. Meanwhile, rumors spread through Technova like wildfire. Evelyn's abrupt exit became office lore, a cautionary tale against bias. Employees who'd suffered under her reign breathed sighs of relief, some even sending anonymous thank yous to Richard. Days turned into weeks, and Anna thrived in her new role. Her first day was a whirlwind, a welcoming team, a desk overlooking the city, and a childcare voucher that allowed Timmy to attend a nearby daycare where he made friends and flourished. Her ideas flowed in meetings, her designs praised, promotions hinted at. Richard mentored her personally, sharing stories of his own struggles that echoed hers, forging a bond of mutual respect. "You remind me of me," he'd say, over coffee breaks that smelled of fresh brew and possibility. As for Evelyn, whispers reached Anna through the grapevine. Attempts at new jobs thwarted by references that highlighted her discriminatory tendencies, a lawsuit threat that fizzled when evidence of her past behaviors surfaced. She ended up in a lesser role at a smaller firm, her ego bruised, her power diminished, a fitting end to her arc of arrogance. It was in vengeful glee that Anna felt upon hearing this, but a quiet sense of closure, a confirmation that fairness prevails. This climax wasn't just a firing and hiring, it was a seismic shift, a redemption arc that validated every tear, every late night, every doubt Anna had endured. The emotional release was profound, a relief mingling with triumph, powering her forward. In the end, it was more than revenge, it was empowerment, a testament to resilience in the face of injustice. Stories like this remind us, karma doesn't always come fast, but when it does, it's poetic. Anna's tale shows that underestimating someone, especially a fighter like a single mom, can backfire spectacularly. Justice isn't just about revenge, it's about fairness, restoring balance. What do you think? Does everyone get what they deserve eventually? Phew. If that gave you the chills or made you yell yes at your screen, smash that like button and drop a comment. What's the most satisfying revenge you've seen or experienced? Share your stories, I read them all. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more emotionally charged Reddit revenges that'll keep you hooked. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.